again. I'm Turan Chapman, host of Farmers Market. For today's interview, we have a master gardener, Joe Francis. We'd like to welcome him to our interview, which he will be giving lots of information about planting gardens and herbs and what have yous. So let's welcome Joe. Thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure.
We love to hear a lot of things from a master gardener, such as your expertise for this show. What is actually a title of master gardener for, and what is it all about?
We have two titles. We have a master gardener intern, and that is the candidate is in training, and for our program it's a 3-year affair. And then they become a certified master gardener. That means they've completed the training and they have all of the requisite training hours and their volunteer hours. And then they have to go on with a continuing education program each year thereafter of 9 additional academic hours plus their volunteer service.
Interesting. Then the classes that they do take and they start with as a basic, how many hours are involved and how long?
It's a 3-year program, and there are 30 hours of training each year, and we follow the syllabus that is published by Virginia Tech. It's got about 14 or 15 chapters of specific subject matter that's addressed over that 3-year period, sometimes more than once. And our students get that training, and this is their book, if you will, that they keep forever, so they can always refer back to it.
Fantastic. Now, it's time to tell us about yourself, Joe.
Oh, okay. I've been with the Master Gardeners now. This is my 17th service year. I've lived here in Herndon since 1970, and we have a historic garden, basically. We have tried to put into our garden area the plants that were present in 1906 and 1907 when the house was built.
I know we have used your actually house and the yard for garden tour many times, for Herndon garden tours. And from what I remember, you really had wonderful collections of different plants, and especially your greenhouse for the orchids, as I remember.
That's correct.
Yes.
My wife is the big collector of all of the plants. There's not an odd plant that she has encountered that we don't have.
Right. So you participate in the Herndon market, right?
Yes.
What do you actually do at the market? What do you kind of present?
We staff that market on Thursdays, beginning in May, and until October. Every Thursday there is a team of 3 and perhaps 4 master gardeners there, depending on the workload. And what we do while we're there is we welcome all of the citizens who come to the table, and we answer all of their gardening questions. And if between the team that's there they cannot answer the plants or the questions directly, they will do the research and they make arrangements to get back to the citizen. If we collect samples, for instance, of the materials that they brought in for questioning, and we have to send it to our lab over at Merrifield Garden Center, then they'll get a report. The citizens will, and so will we. And then we reach out to them to be sure that we've answered all of their questions.
Yeah, and we will have a website for anyone who's interested to actually, if they have any question for it. Now, we are going to be doing some kind of demonstration here, and you're going to give us some advice as what to do and not to do about plants. You ready?
All right, first of all, our website is fairfaxgardening.org. And on there you'll find a public sector, and then there's one for the master gardeners. But in the public sector, we have all of the information that you need, first of all, about the program itself. And secondly, a lot of the literature that we have published is there. And so you can scroll down and pick up the different items that you have any interest in. Now, as far as the question that I was asked here when we came here today was to take a look at what would you do with your houseplant if you had to repot it? Generally, our houseplants thrive on benign neglect. But they do ultimately and eventually get tied up in a pot that's too, and they're just too big for their britches. So what I'm going to show you is what we would do with one of those plants that is already pot bound. And so we're going to repot it basically.
And what do we have? What is the name of the plant?
It is a variegated, for my wife of course.
Uh-huh.
It's a variegated, and I'm not sure of the genera that it's in, and the tag is sometime is gone.
Oh,
but
okay.
it has a nice blue flower.
Oh,
And
nice.
So yeah, guess everybody gets excited over.
Oh, okay. When do they bloom?
Generally in the summer.
In the summer. Okay.
and-
What do we need over here for you to show us?
Okay. First of all, we need to take the plant out of the pot. So we're going to be unceremonious. And here comes the pot.
Okay.
Now I want you to look at this. And you can see here all the roots that come around. You see how this is pushing
Oh,
itself?
baby, yeah.
Yeah, it couldn't come out. And you see on the bottom how all this is all
Tied up.
tied up. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it an opportunity to breathe better.
Okay.
Now I have a different pot that I want to put this in.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the pot that
Okay, this is the soil.
pre-soiled.
Yeah, we'll do that. Now you see, this is going to fit perfectly inside. You usually repot for one size up, and this is about right.
Okay.
So what we want to do is
Prune some roots.
we're going to prune some roots. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come down here, and I'm going to cut them. See, they're running in circles around here.
Okay. Not too deep though, right?
No,
Not too close.
we want to break that
Okay.
the circle that's down around the bottom. And then we're going to tease.
So sort of loosen up the roots
You
so
got
they
it.
can regrow up.
Yeah, see what we're doing now? We're kind of
Now this way, there is no way it will harm the plant, right?
No,
It just
no.
actually make it grow better.
actually, it's sort of like getting a haircut. As soon as you do that, the hair grows back
Grows
quickly.
mo-
You see,
yeah.
it's the same thing we're having. Now, you see
Okay.
what I'm doing here?
Yes, yes.
I
you're
broke the
loosening
circular
up.
motion, and I'm loosening up. By the way,
Okay.
this would also work if you bought a plant from the nursery that you were going to put in the garden, like a young tree, and things like that. They've been in that pot, and so the
Right.
roots go around in circles.
Right.
You definitely want to flare them out.
In other words, actually, if you keep them like that, they're like suffocating their own.
That's right.
in
And
their
then when
own
you put them
roots.
in with some fresh soil around it, they're not going to be able to
Right,
get on with pulling it,
right.
to growing. So what?
They sure are tight.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's been a while. So you just have to.
Get
There,
your
you
hands
see?
dirty, sort of.
Oh yes. Yeah. Now you see what we've done is we've opened up all those roots, so you can see them in there now.
Right, right.
And we've also got a new growth here, in one here. This obviously grows on what we would call a rhizome or rhizome here. And it's in the it's in
Eventually,
the iris
will
family.
surface on top.
Yeah. So you see now what I'm going to do is with that all opened up like that, I'm going to tease out some of the soil that's in there.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I mean, from what I
Yeah.
see you do, it's really not to be bashful to go at those roots, because I always thought I might hurt them.
Nah. Just pretend you're Attila the hen,
Okay.
and that'll get you.
Yeah, giving.
See?
Yes, yes, I see.
And then, and what you're doing is that you're allowing a lot more space for the roots to expand out.
Okay.
It seems like you're being a barbarian about it right now, but you're not.
Okay.
So now the point that we need to be sure of here. See, there's lots of drain holes in the bottom
Right,
of this.
right. You want
So,
a good
yeah.
drainage.
So you're going to have good drainage, but I'm going to put in the center of this pot on the bottom, I'm making a little bit of a cone
Okay.
in the middle. You see that?
Yes, yes.
And then I'm going to take this thing
So you are not actually cutting out
No,
those
no,
outer
they're going to
roots.
fold up.
They're going to, okay.
You see, and then I want that soil to reach up under here.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to come in here with this,
I see.
and then we're going to go in there with it. Mm-hmm. Now we probably need. So we put the soil underneath.
And just fill it up to the top?
Well, not quite.
No.
What we do here is we put it in. Now, what would be perfect at home with this is a chopstick
Okay.
to get.
So you're
down
just
in.
filling all the cavities
So
under.
what you're doing here,
Okay.
pretend this is our chopstick.
Okay.
We're going in here like this, and we're pushing this with that kind of an action under
I see, to go underneath.
to get the soil underneath the root mass.
Okay.
You see?
And that's why we wanted to empty the middle center of
That's
the.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
I
because
see.
we want the
Right.
roots to grow throughout the whole plant.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Now you see what I've done, and then I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to shake him a little bit. And what that does is it works all that soil down in behind and around there. You see, notice I'm brutal. It works.
Is this a remedy that you're showing for almost all the plants
sure.
when you want to replant them?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a basic thing to learn,
Yeah. When you
to repot.
yeah. And so when you do this, you've opened up the whole system. You put in fresh soil,
Right,
and then these roots will just take right off.
right.
This is what happens, you see, with the houseplant. So now I'm going to go around there just a little bit more,
Okay.
and then you don't fill it to the top with soil.
Okay, that's what would have been my
No,
next
no, no,
question.
no. You
How
want-
far do you come up?
Well, you want to have enough space here to hold the water.
Okay.
Now, the mixture that we've used here is perlite and Pro-Mix, which has got part of it, not yet. It's got part peat moss and some other emoluments in there. So it's going to hold moisture. So when you've done something like this, you water it once, and then you just let it set.
Okay.
Because if you put too much water in, the roots will get waterlogged, and they won't have a chance to sprout the new ones out. They need to have a little bit of an area to breathe, and if it's solid and wet, they can't do it.
Would you prefer to have, when they do the repotting, to have a tray underneath?
No.
No, it doesn't need
I would water the pot,
Uh-huh.
and I would let it drain through, and there'll be some settling.
Okay.
And then I would set it, if you're keeping it in the house, not over the windowsill, keep it back in your growing area, and just let it settle. And you'll see after a week or so, the plant will tell you that things are all right.
Okay, okay.
And then just give it a little bit of water.
So that you said again that it works for any kind of plant
Pretty much.
and also herbs. Okay, now tell us something about herbs, because now it's a season, a time that pretty much everyone is growing tomatoes and basils and all the herbs. So
when you go to the nursery and you get the basil plants, I think all danger of frost is past now. So you can take those and you can come ahead and plant them pretty much in the garden. Again, when they come out of the pot, if they're all real pot bound, in that case I would just slice the roots instead of pulling it all loose.
Okay.
Just so that you want to break the loop like this, so that you want the new roots to go out, because at those cuts they will turn around and they will flare out. And then if this is your plant, and this is its normal soil line right here.
explain to me about if that is a tomato plant.
Well, are we finished with we're going to finish with the others first?
Sure, I mean, we
Yeah.
can do that, but also if you
Okay.
can explain, let's assume I bring a tomato plant. How
Okay.
about that one?
Okay. All right. Well, the tomatoes are different
Okay,
than the regular garden plants. But
okay,
usually when you put a regular vegetable plant like basil or any of those things in the ground, you bring the soil right around the base of where it was before. You have to be careful. If you get one of these that has what they call a peat pot, that serves as a wicking thing. So you have to nip off the top edges of that, and then you bury that in the ground and put the soil over it, because otherwise it'll draw out the moisture from the plant. So, but generally the stuff that you get is easy. You pop it out of a little plastic container, you put it in at right level. If this is where the soil ended and this is the plant, then you would put that down in the ground and you bring the soil right up to it. Now, with tomatoes, that's a little different story.
Okay. Shall I give you?
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay. If you go to the market, then you look at the tomato plants, you're going to see all sizes. And this is one of those exceptions to the rule, that the tomato plant can be taken and you can plant it deeper than the normal flare line, if you will. For instance, when we see a tree, it has a flare line, we never plant that down in below the soil. We keep the soil right level to it. But in the case of a tomato, sometimes they're long and gangly because they've been stretched and so on. So the first thing you do is you get the whole plant and you have to size up what you have. You're going to have to put in a stake. And it's much better to put the stake in first. Because if you put the stake in afterwards, you might inadvertently cut through the plant.
Would you mind showing us on the graph, please?
Okay, all right.
Because sometimes it's difficult to see exactly what you mean. So
Okay.
by drawing it on the board for our viewers,
Okay,
that will probably be
sure.
a little bit more helpful if you don't mind.
All righty. If this is your soil line in the garden, right here, and you have a tomato plant, the first thing you do is you put in the stake. Probably see if you could have it about 4 foot above. Then you take your tomato plant and then you dig a trench down like here on an angle like that. And that's the root ball of the tomato. And there's some leaves and so on here, but you leave about 3 or 4 inches out here with a few leaves on it and so on. And then you bury all of this in the underground. This stem will immediately send out all kinds of roots every place else. And so what happens is you also have the plant getting water down 3 or 4 inches in the pot already, or in the soil. And that's what you want to do. And that little bit here, in about 10 days, will already be a foot, and then before you know it, it'll be right on up.
That's regularly for all different kinds of tomatoes.
For the tomatoes, yeah.
Okay. Now let's go back again to the herbs. Any particular things we should know about planting and growing herbs?
The best thing about herbs is the more you prune them, the better they grow.
Is that right?
Especially with basil and so on. So the more you pinch off to put in the salad and so on, it'll sprout out. They have some basil that you can put on the kitchen window. It's a very small leafed basil and it doesn't bloom, so it can be a house plant. And it has little 3/4 inch leaves, very powerful, and the more you prune it, the better it likes it. It sort of likes to be abused.
When you mean pruning, by pinching
Pinch
just
off the leaves that you can put in the salad.
Not the top where it seeds?
And you can do that too.
Okay,
and
that
then
will
it'll
make
branch.
it. Okay, okay.
Sure.
Well, these are the most interesting tips that I've ever seen. I mean, as I said, I was very careful about not to do what you did here, and I thought I was going to hurt the plant.
Yeah.
But thank you so very much, Joe.
Well, let's talk about one other thing.
Okay.
While we're back on the tomatoes.
Sure, sure.
We have a lot of our members in the city here who grow tomatoes on their deck. And so if they want to grow tomatoes there to protect them from the deer, if they get one of these huge pots, and you'll see them in the nurseries. Okay. And in this case, you put the stake in the middle, and then you get your tomato plant, and you put it in here. This is above ground, and you have the root system down in here, like this, which will eventually sprout out. And you fill this thing up, you fill the soil level up to about right in there in the plant, in the planter. Not to the top, because if you put water in, you want it to stay in there. Now, to be successful, you have to get a saucer, a big saucer. And then when you leave for work in the morning, you fill this up with water, and during the day that gets absorbed by the plant. Now remember, you're going to have 4 or 5 feet of leaves and structure up above here, and it'll suck it all up. When you come back at the end of the day, the plant won't look like it's dead.
Right.
But the first thing you do after you
Fill it
take the
up
dog
again.
out is you fill it up again.
Okay, that's a very good tip.
Because that way, then by the morning, it'll be sucked up in there. And then if you do that, you're up on the deck, so the deer can't get it, hopefully. And you've got this plant that'll give you the fruit.
So by putting the water in the planter,
in the planter.
in the dish
tray.
or the saucer,
Yeah.
it will not actually kill the plant.
No, it'll take it up
on
on its
moisture.
own.
It will
Take it
does.
up on its own rate.
Okay.
Now, the other thing while you're dealing with the tomatoes, don't fertilize them.
Ah,
Because if you fertilize them, you'll get this lovely green plant with 1 or 2 flowers and no tomatoes. You'll OD it on kindness.
oh my goodness, that is a wonderful tip.
So you don't want to do that.
Yes, yes.
That's very important. And then there's one final thing when you deal with tomatoes so if you want to avoid disappointments, is when you see a tomato when it's ripe, and on the bottom you'll see a little black spot. And people wonder what that is. And this is what we call blossom end rot. And that's avoidable. You can either add to your pot lime, which has magnesium in it, or Epsom salts. 1 tablespoon at time of planting of Epsom salts. And then after the first set of flowers, we'll have another tablespoon. And that will give that plant in that container enough magnesium
Nutrition,
to avoid you getting this
little dot.
out down, and it rots it out. Okay?
Very interesting.
So-
Thank you.
Everybody, from that, you'll have very successful tomatoes.
Oh, well, I'm sure I will use every bit of the information you give us.
Okay.
And for the final note, anything else you have to say?
The markets themselves.
Okay.
We have 19 of these markets that we go to.
Okay.
They're libraries, and they're in different parts of the city, of the county. Some service apartment dwellers, some service suburbanites, if you will, and some just to service the cross-mixing of all those. And at these places, you will find in that group of master gardeners somebody that can solve your problem. And if they can't, they know where to go to get the answers for you. So what you want to do is you go to our website there that I've given you, which was it's already scooted away, fairfaxgardening.org, and you'll see the whole list of the locations of these particular facilities, and they're ours. And so they're convenient enough. There's some all during different hours of the day, so that you can go to these places and reach our master gardeners for help. They're there. They're trained to help you.
We are looking forward to perhaps see you again and probably give us some more information in the future time. And thank you again for joining us. And I appreciate you coming. Wonderful talking with you.
It's my pleasure.
Well, this is it about this session of Herndon's Farmers Market and how to plant and grow your plants for future time. I hope you enjoyed it. We're back, and we are going to show you about herbs and making tea from herbs. I have this experience of actually experimenting lots of different herbs and make tea out of them. Today, we have some dry mint, and what we have here is called Jamaican rose or sorrel, and they look like a hibiscus, little dry flowers. And also, we will use a cardamom. They are little seed pods that they have a very lovely taste once you actually soak them in hot water or add it to use it mostly sometimes in the baking goods or tea. So what I'm going to do, these 3 items, I'm going to sort of crush them by hand and put them in a teapot. And we have, let's see, hot water to add to it. And once we crush the mint, the sorrel, which is the Jamaican rose, and cardamom, they will be ready to be soaked in water for a few minutes, and then come back and then taste the tea. That shouldn't take long. Now you could actually make any kind of tea with any kind of herbs that you like. So don't be timid about not using them, because they are not only wonderful to make tea from them, they're also wonderful because they have these wonderful ingredients that will help some sort of form for health. For example, from what I understand, is mints actually can cure hiccups, and also basil could be very useful for stomach gas, or perhaps if you have some kind of upset stomach. So I just put enough of these dry ingredients that I mentioned, the cardamom, the dried mints, and the sorrel, which is the Jamaican rose. I'm going to add hot water and let it sit for a while, and make sure that that is covered with water. I think I need to put a little bit more water in here. And usually you have to give it some time to make sure that the dry mint and the dry sorrel, which is the Jamaican rose, and the cardamom, to absorb the hot water and release the taste of the herbs and the flower and the cardamom. And then it would be ready for you to enjoy a cup of tea with your favorite baked goods. And our tea, as you see, the color is pretty much there. And we are just about sort of ready, and we can, you could either use the strainers to get the herbs out of your teacup, or just let it settle down and then pour the tea. And if you like to probably consume the herbs with the tea, it's no harm, and it's wonderful, and it's good for your digestion anyway. And also another thing that I was going to add is that your herbs that you have, which is a good time for the herb, and it's the season for it, that you could always get your herbs, and if you have a surplus of herbs, you could dry them. And the way you can dry them is to just clip some of the herbs, wash them, clean them, and let it really dry out in air, and then sort of leave them out, just like so, and perhaps others like basils, and then lay them flat on the paper towel, and in the just leave them day by day. When you look at it, you see that they are really shrinking and drying up. And make sure when you check the herbs and they are really dry and they make those crushing sound, then you know for a fact that they are really dry. You don't want to pack them while they still have some moisture in it. And you could actually put them in a glass jar like this, label it if you won't remember what it is, or in a plastic container, and just leave it on the shelf. And every time you feel like you want to have some herbal tea, which almost every one of the herbs have some kind of medicinal aspects to them. Like, for example, ginger is very good for stomach upset. And as I said, mint usually is wonderful for curing hiccups. So I am going to actually taste the tea and let you know how it came out. Oh my goodness, it has this wonderful sort of sour kind of taste because of the Jamaican rose, and this wonderful aroma of mint, and also the cardamom flavor in the tea. Thank you so much for joining us, and we welcome you back again in the next episode.